Picture this. You're in a heated conversation. Your heart's pounding. Words are flying. And then you lose. Not because you said the wrong thing, but because you said anything at all, that sinking feeling in your chest. That's the moment you realize you've already given away your power. But here's what nobody tells you. The person who speaks first loses first. There's a reason why the most powerful people in any room are often the quietest. It's not because they have nothing to say. It's because they've discovered something the rest of us are still scrambling to learn. That silence isn't just the absence of words. It's a weapon. And today you're going to learn how to wield it. The trap. We all fall into. Let's be honest. How many times have you left a conversation feeling defeated, even though you said everything you wanted to say? You explained yourself perfectly. You defended your position. You laid out all your points. And yet, somehow, it still didn't feel like a win. Maybe they smirked. Maybe they interrupted. Maybe they just didn't care. And here's the worst part. You walked away replaying the conversation in your head, thinking of all the things you should have said, all the comebacks, all the perfect responses. Because deep down, we've been trained to believe that silence equals weakness, that not defending yourself is surrender, that if you don't speak up, you lose. But what if I told you this entire belief system is a trap? Nietzsche, one of the most dangerously misunderstood philosophers in history, saw through this lie. He understood something most people never will. Those who talk the most reveal the most. Those who feel the need to convince others are already operating from a position of weakness. The world has conditioned us to fight, to explain, to defend our ideas as if every conversation is a battle for truth. But nature offers us a different path, a subtler, deadlier path. The power you've been ignoring. This message is for you, the one who feels overlooked, the one who gets interrupted mid-sentence, the one who's always keeping the peace while others walk all over your boundaries. You've become the easy target, the nice one, the one who doesn't make waves. And here's the brutal truth. You've confused silence with submission. You think staying quiet means letting them win. But today you're going to learn that your silence, when used correctly, is the most devastating weapon you possess. Because victory isn't about winning arguments. It's about never needing to enter one in the first place. Why we're addicted to arguing. Think about the last time someone criticized you. What was your first instinct? To defend yourself, right? To explain, to correct them, to prove you're right. But why? Why do we have this burning need to respond? Nietzsche understood this better than anyone. It's ego, a fragile ego that confuses disagreement with attack. An ego so desperate for validation that it turns every conversation into a battleground. Most people don't argue because they care about truth. They argue because they need to feel powerful. They need to reaffirm beliefs that are already shaky. Every time you justify yourself, you've already entered their game, and you've already lost. Think about it. When you feel the need to explain yourself, to prove your point, to make them understand, what are you really doing? You're seeking their acceptance. You're handing them the power to judge whether you're right or wrong. You're trapped in what Nietzsche called herd morality, living your life according to other people's expectations, desperate to seem good, correct, acceptable. This quest for approval is what weakens you. True strength isn't about convincing others. It's about not needing to. The uncomfortable truth about silence. Here's where things get interesting and uncomfortable. Silence is a mirror, and most people can't stand what they see in it. When you refuse to react, you force other people to hear their own voice echoing back at them. You make them confront their own arguments without any resistance. And for most people, that's unbearable, because deep down they're speaking to convince themselves, not you. They're hiding their own emptiness behind a wall of words. Your silence strips away that disguise. There's actual science behind this. Social psychology tells us that silence in confrontational situations triggers something primal in the human brain. When someone is speaking and you don't respond, their amygdala, the fear center of the brain, lights up. They start projecting their insecurities onto you. Is he judging me? Does he see through my bluff? Why isn't he reacting? This is especially devastating to manipulators, because manipulators need your reaction to maintain control. When you give them nothing, the entire cycle breaks. They panic, they overcompensate, they reveal their weaknesses. Your silence becomes their nightmare. The Übermensch, Nietzsche's ultimate power move. Nietzsche wrote about a concept that terrified conventional society, the Übermensch, the person who transcends common morality through absolute self-control. Not someone who wins debates or plays emotional games, someone who doesn't need to play at all. The Übermensch observes, understands, and chooses precisely when to speak or when not to. His silence isn't empty. It's a loaded gun. It's authority. It's self-mastery. While others are shouting, trying to fill the space with noise, the Übermensch commands the room with a single glance. While others are explaining, defending, justifying, he simply exists, and his calm presence reveals everyone else's weakness. This isn't passivity. It's the ultimate form of power, energy control. Every word you speak reveals a chess move. Every reaction exposes a weakness. The Übermensch stays quiet not because he has nothing to say, but because he has no need to say it. His presence alone disturbs people. It forces them to confront themselves. And in a world drowning in noise, the person who masters silence becomes king. How to weaponize your silence? Let's get practical, because philosophy without application is just intellectual entertainment. Strategy number 1, kill the instinct to justify. The next time someone challenges you, insults you, or tries to provoke you, pause. Feel that burning urge to defend yourself rising in your chest, and then let it die. That urge, it's poison. It means they've already taken control. Strategy number 2, become the observer. Listen like a hunter. When people speak, they're revealing everything, their fears, their contradictions, their insecurities. Store this information, and if you ever decide to speak, make it surgical. One precise sentence that ends the conversation, not with volume, but with weight. Strategy number 3, let the silence linger. Don't rush to fill uncomfortable pauses. Let them stretch. Let the tension build. Because here's what happens. While you're comfortable in the silence, they're drowning in it. Their discomfort grows. Their mind fills the void with fears and doubts, and a single look from you, paired with silence, impacts them more than 1,000 words ever could. Strategy number 4, become unpredictable. When people can't predict your reactions, they fear you. They start choosing their words carefully around you. You become the center of gravity in every conversation, not through force, but through presence. This is dominance. Real dominance, Not loud, not aggressive, just undeniable. The dark side, when silence becomes survival. But we need to talk about something uncomfortable, because not all silence is power. Some of you aren't choosing silence strategically. You're trapped in it. You've been conditioned into it. You stay quiet not because you're powerful, but because you're afraid. Afraid of conflict, afraid of rejection, afraid of being too much. And there are people in your life who've learned to exploit this. They push their ideas. They impose their will. They occupy your space. And you let them, because you've been taught that keeping the peace is more important than keeping your dignity. Nietzsche had a term for this: slave morality. The morality of resignation, of guilt, of niceness at all costs. It teaches you to nullify yourself while feeling virtuous about it. This isn't the silence of the Übermensch. This is the silence of someone who's forgotten they have a voice. And if that's you, if you're reading this and feeling that knot in your stomach because you know you've been swallowing your truth, then listen carefully. This silence is killing you. Real power isn't just about when you choose to be silent. It's about knowing you could speak and choosing not to. That's completely different from being silenced. Your moment of choice. So here's your moment of truth. Examine your life honestly. How much of your silence comes from power, and how much comes from fear? How many times have you let others trample on your truth because you were too afraid to stand in it? Nietzsche didn't write for the comfortable. He wrote for the courageous, the ones willing to tear off society's masks and forge their own path. The Übermensch's silence isn't the silence of someone who's been oppressed or defeated. It's the silence of a warrior who's already won the battle before it even began. It's the stillness that comes from knowing yourself so completely that you need nothing from anyone else. That's the silence you're learning to embody. Not silence from fear, not silence from guilt, but silence from power. Silence that commands respect without asking for it. Silence that sets boundaries without explaining them. Silence that affirms your worth without needing validation. This is the silence that changes everything. The final truth. The weak shout. The strong stay silent. But the wise choose when. And now, so will you. If this resonated with you, if you felt that shift inside yourself, then commit to it. Drop a comment right now. I choose the silence that commands respect. Say it out loud. Make it real. Because the moment you master your silence, you master your life. Not because you're hiding, but because you finally understand. The most powerful thing you can do is refuse to play games you were never meant to win. The world will test you. People will try to provoke you. They'll push your buttons and wait for you to react. And you'll simply look at them. You'll smile, and you'll say nothing, because you'll know something they don't. Your silence is not weakness. It's mercy.